Hey, and what is up, everyone? I am jumping on live. It's Wednesday, and it is time. And the goal today is to be chatting with Jon Smith, who is also here on YouTube with us. I literally just had him here on the stream, and then 2 minutes ago, it looks like we had some sort of technical like blip, and he disappeared. So my hope is that he will get back to us shortly, and I'll bring him on as soon as he gets back. But anyway, in the meantime, I wanted to say hey and what is going on, and thank you for being here. I know that it's you taking time out of your day to come and spend it with me, and it just makes me feel good. Saying hi to folks in the chat. I'm seeing Jeff and Pavan and Margaret. It is great to see you folks and that you come in and hang out. There is Adrian. People are rolling in, and I'm super excited because Jon Smith, who is on YouTube here with us, he started in January, and I just looked at his channel, and he's got 650 subscribers already. I looked in the last 30 days, he put on 400 new subscribers. He's basically getting ready to sort of just join us. But he had some sort of technical hiccup, like literally like right before I went to hit like on, like he froze and then disappeared. So I'm hoping that what he's not doing on the other end is doing this massive major freak out and is like frantically trying to get there. So Jon, if you're watching this or hearing this, I'm waiting for you. Just find your way in, and then yeah, I'll add you to the stream when you get there. But anyway, since folks are here and I'm happy to have you. I wanted to touch briefly on how I'm doing in my Amiga spreadsheet. There's Jon. I don't know if he can see me or hear me, but I just wanted to touch on it briefly. I have a goal of 38 posts for the month, and it turns out I still have 9 to go. So it's the 28th. I have 3 days to get through the next 9 posts. And so I'm going to be doing little to nothing else other than that. I can see Jon is still struggling. I have him on here, sudo. I'm going to remove him. And then when he like looks like he is ready, I'm going to try again. But I was in the Amiga spreadsheet this morning, and I was looking at some of the posts in there. And there are some folks who are working, like I'm going to shout out Margaret, because Margaret is awesome and is consistent. And I'm texting Jon right now. It says, I'm ready for you whenever you are. And hopefully he gets it figured out. But Margaret, I just wanted to give her the shout out for being like one of the most consistent people that I've ever seen. And I don't even know how or why she's able to get this done, but it is awesome. If Sabina is catching this, live or is here later, I just wanted to shout out Sabina. She admitted in the spreadsheet that she was struggling with picking out a niche and that it like feeling anxiety about it. And my comment in there was that if you are like feeling stuck, like one of the best things to do is to take some kind of action, right? If you like feel nervous or anxious, sometimes, Sabina, the best thing for you to do is just pick something and start working on it. And then you'll resolve sort of whatever's creating that anxiety because you'll learn something. And then you'll know, right? You won't have anxiety because you'll know the answers. Margaret says, got 1 post to go to hit the month target. And saying hi to Anthony. And I'm going to try this again. And hopefully Jon is ready to go. And look at the magic of the internet.
We have
Jon's
going on here. So it's a little...
All right. So do me a test. Why don't you introduce yourself, and then we'll check to make sure that we can see and hear you well. And then hopefully you're not sweating because of that, like, oh God, it's time to go. And then my tech just all went. So introduce yourself and we'll test it out.
Yeah, I'm having, we have a storm going on here, so it's a little bad connection. But my name's Jon, and I make content websites. And I've been doing this for quite a while. It's really all there is to me.
I have a feeling that that's not true. And so when you say first a storm, so if you get bumped off because of the weather, just log out and then come back, and I'll just let you back in, and I'll just try to spew out something valuable for people as they wait. Next you say, well, I make content websites, and that's all there is. My first question is, well, how long you been doing that?
So for quite a while. Well, I've been doing it since I was about 18, 19 years old, but I did.
You look like you're like 20. So that could be 10 years or that could be 2 months. Like, give me a range, like 10 years.
I'm 33 years old, a little more than 10 years. I haven't been doing it consistently for 10 years, though. I took a long break. So
how's it different then from when you started when you were 18 versus it's like like it's almost 2 decades. How is it different?
So the way I did it before, I wasn't actually creating content sites. I was creating them and selling them. So I wasn't like creating them and holding on to them,
Mhm.
basically. But as far as ranking and stuff like that goes, it used to be a lot easier to rank online for, just about any keyword. You could just use lorem ipsum content and have throw in a few keywords and you ranked. So now it's a lot harder. There's eat, um, yeah, YMYL. Google's gotten tough. But if you write quality content, it's easy.
Well, there's a lot in there. So I will start with the thing that you said last, which is I'm going to put my air quotes quality content. And I feel like every YouTuber and every content creator who's talking about blog posts, is like just write good posts. So tell me, what is quality content in your mind? What has to go into a post to get that quality badge?
So, in my opinion, I like well-researched content.
Mm.
And if I write a post, just, crank it out in 30 minutes to an hour, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to do as well as something that took me 3 or 4 hours to write. Even the same word count, you know what I mean? So if it's well-researched, external links, internal links, the goal is to just be a value. So the more value, the better. Quality content, it depends on the niche, really. I can't really answer that for an umbrella, but
Mhm.
depending on what the topic is, you just want to provide value.
Well, I think that you say, oh, well, this would be different if you were at, like, it was a rabbit site versus a lawn mowing site, because these are the things I see looking out my window. But you could say, all right, well, how would you apply that umbrella like across the board? You say, okay, could you put yourself in the shoes of the person who is making this search query?
Search intent for sure,
Mhm.
absolutely. And research, the more research you can do. I know Income School, they preach about research and spending a certain amount of time. I agree 100%.
But I
Research,
mean,
research,
but I
research.
think it's really easy though to go from a keyword, right? Put the keyword in to your blog or to conversion.ai or to send it to a writer and not necessarily think about like what does that person want? Like
Right.
what are they honest, not just like the information, but what sort of experience would lead them to feel good about that? What would allow them to just stop, right? Like I don't need to do any more research. I don't need to keep doing more. Like this has it all, not just the words and the information, but it has everything that I need. And I just don't think a lot of people, and I'm guilty of it sometimes, a lot times too, where I just don't necessarily think through all the way, like what are really the things that they need from me.
Yeah, that's why I like to get involved in my niches,
Mm.
like my countertop website. It's something that I've known for a long time, and I'm still involved in it. But other sites, like I have a gardening website, and I don't really share the information on it. And it's a subtopic of gardening, and I'm doing the things. I don't like gardening, but I'm doing the things so that I can get information to find like struggles people might have, pain points, and stuff like that. So it helps me create content too. So I learn what people need or
Mhm.
want or troubles they have. And yeah, so
Jeff says, gone are the days of dumping keywords into the meta. And then Anthony wants to know, is that a Bucky's shirt? And the answer is yes. Yes. This is a faded 10-year-old Bucky's shirt that I actually bought at a Bucky's in Texas. Probably San Antonio range down there. But yeah, and I love this shirt. But it's so funny because the only people who recognize it are the folks, like, if you know, you know.
if you know, you
So
know.
so one of the things we talked about before we got on the stream, and I just wanted to bring it up, and I hope you're comfortable with it, is you don't talk about your like global income. Like I don't, right? I don't tell people like, here is every single dollar that I make, and here is the origin of every single dollar. I feel like a little bit like that's people getting to look into my underwear drawer. That's private. That's private information. And
I agree.
some people are like, here it is. You can have it all, down to domains and all my costs and expenses. What has put you on my side of the fence where like I hold some things back because I don't want people, it feels wrong to tell everybody those things versus just like share it all.
Well, the reason why I even share one website is to kind of relate to people and show them what they could earn. I make $2,000 a month from one website, and I don't like sharing it because I don't want to come off as braggy, or I'm a very modest person, and I don't like to. I live in a small, 1,000 square foot home right now. I don't have anything flashy and whatever, but I just don't like sharing too much. I want to relate to people a little more, and most people aren't, at the level that I am, even with the $2,000 website alone.
Here's the thing. I think that there's a large majority of people who never make $1 online.
Absolutely, I agree.
And I think that a lot of people are stuck in the $0 to $1,000 a month range. So honestly, you say, oh, well, it feels braggy, and, or, I don't want to like tell people that how much money I make because, it makes them, we can't relate to each other. But I do want to commend you though for busting out of that first $1,000 a month range, because most people get stuck there, and most people, that is worth the harmonica. All right. I just have to say, I can't help it. I know you feel like, oh, like it's braggy, but I think it's awesome. So I just want to say that. But so the reason that you don't share it then is because you feel like it's not relatable then, or that maybe it will put you in a place where other people aren't. But I mean, you're going on YouTube, right? I mean, that's really putting yourself out there, and most people aren't going to do that. Like, why do that? Why invite scrutiny if all you could do then is sit in your house and just crush the rest of us with your work? Like, why go on YouTube?
I don't know. I just this job, this business, I do this full time, 100%. I don't have a 9 to 5 or whatever. It gets lonely, and I'm treating YouTube as another content site, to be honest with you. I want to provide value. I don't know everything, absolutely not, but I want to learn more, and I want to network with people, have conversations with Amelia Gardner, WP Eagle, just anybody. It's lonely sitting in this office here.
It's cool though. So you're using those like RBG lights in the back, or is there like you actually have some sort of tech that makes it purple?
I have this little thing here. I don't know if you can see it. I use it for all my videos.
Yeah, it looks good. I use a window. That's the extent of my tech.
I have an app to it too. You can change the color. You can the brightness, all that good stuff. So
that's awesome. Sabina is rolling in. Sabina, I was actually talking to you, my dear, in the beginning of the video, so you'll have to go back and check out the stream. There is Chris rolling in, and Chris, I can almost imagine you like sitting there at your computer with like your hat like down to like here with like caffeine like right there.
I had 2 or 3 of these.
All right. So first question, like a technical question. Talk to us about your keyword strategy then. The word Jeff uses is acquisition, but how do you decide what to write about?
So I treat all keywords as a potential keyword. You never really know what is going to get plenty of traffic. And some keywords might get you 100, but that compounding effect takes place in that situation. But mostly I use people also ask, and there's a query you can search in Google where it's site : Quora.com and then your keyword. I get a lot of keyword ideas from that alone, and you can see what's ranking. I use Ahrefs, but you can see what's ranking, what Quora is ranking for as far as a certain keyword. And if a forum or Quora or Yahoo Answers before it was, shut down, well, I think it's still alive now, but you get a lot of content ideas that way.
So I was trying the site : deal the other day, and I was just trying it with my own site, which I know, at least I assume that Google Search Console is correct in that it says that I don't have any pages that are out. And when I did that, it did not bring up the entirety of my site. And I was talking with someone else about it. And so we did the site search, the site : and then with a keyword, and it brought up other articles that didn't come up in just the straight up keyword, just initial search, right? Just for the domain in general. So have you noticed between using Ahrefs and doing the site colon that you're finding different keyword results or different keywords to write on, doing the searches different ways?
I think Ahrefs has like a, I really don't know, but yeah, there's
Mhm.
definitely a difference. Ahrefs has a lot more, it's a little more streamlined. It's more organized.
Mhm.
Um, and you can kind of set some more filters in place to find, better keywords. But as far as Google, I mean, I use Google a lot,
Mhm.
that method. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of difference, absolutely, but still works. You just have to find a big site with a lot of content, and
So
big
what are you
competitors
doing?
are good
Are
for
you
that.
doing anything to, as far as like volume before deciding to write on a keyword? Or you're just like, it's low competition. I think I can
Uh,
rank for it. Who gives a whoop about how many people are searching for it?
I have a lot of keywords on my countertop site that every keyword tool shows 0 volume, but I
Mhm.
get, you know, a lot a lot of
Mhm.
traffic from it. So, no, I don't believe in volume. There's no way to tell. I mean, Google, Keyword Planner usually has a pretty good idea in my opinion, but that's from past history, so you don't really know what the world's gonna do in the future, so
So one of the things I've been thinking about lately, and I've heard this come up, I mean, more than once in a podcast or on a YouTube video, was talking about how a certain percentages of the searches in Google in a given day or month or year are new, right? Like this is the first
Yeah,
time they've ever been searched.
I hear that often.
So do you have any plans or like thoughts about how to get on those keywords? You think, okay, get ahead of them or to be one of the first people to jump on them to get the benefit of this like new thing?
So when I create a website, my goal, the ultimate goal is to become a resource. And
Mhm.
if you can cover every topic on your website, regardless of search volume or whatever, the best you can, then you don't really have to worry about that. You'll rank for those naturally.
Whenever
And
they need them, whenever people
yeah,
need them.
absolutely. And there's variants of every keyword. I mean, I can't really spot on a example, but there's variants of every keyword and you'll rank for those anyway. So
Mhm. You
Google's
know,
very
what's
smart.
one of the things that was interesting lately in Google Search Console is, I had I wish I could just say the post, but I haven't shared the blog, but it was like a very specific keyword that I'd ranked for a long time, and then all of a sudden in Search Console, I started to notice that I ranked for the abbreviation of it.
Oh wow.
So it was one of those things like people text, right? Like they're texting and they abbreviate it in text, but they wouldn't necessarily abbreviate it just on their desktop. And so it was really surprising for me all of a sudden to see this abbreviation. I realized, oh my goodness, this is the mobile version of this coming in. I would have never thought to optimize for that. And there was something that shifted recently where Google started to look at that and then started sending me the traffic for the people who were using like recognizing that abbreviation or acronym or like that informal way of texting that word. All of a sudden I started to rank for that and I was like, this is
Google's very
interesting.
smart. Absolutely.
So what you're saying though is that you write for the topic and you probably write on keywords that maybe don't show up on Ahrefs, that don't show up maybe in Alphabet Soup, that don't really show up anywhere, but you're like, I'm in this topic and if I have this question, somebody else eventually is going to need it.
Yeah, usually all keywords can be found because these keyword tools, they use the who, what, when, where, how, in the uh, beginning of a keyword and many different variants. So, I mean, you can find the keywords, and I like finding keywords that way. It makes things easier and gives me
Mhm.
ideas for content. But I don't really focus on a keyword level, to be honest with you. My focus, like I said, is just the main topic and being a resource, the ultimate resource, as best you can.
So if somebody wanted to create a site like this, then it would be incredibly difficult to outsource it, right? Because part of
Not
understanding what
necessarily. You
well,
might have to do a lot of editing, which I do actually. I spent 2,000, $2,500, maybe actually 3,000 this month on content for one website, the countertop site, and it's about 9 out of 10 articles I'm editing. Some of them, I'm editing all of them for sure, but like heavy editing, I have to put my information, do a little more research. But yeah, you can still outsource it. You just have to uh, do a little work yourself.
Yeah, but you also have to suggest topics to your writers, right? They're not just going to
Oh
sit at
yeah,
home and
absolutely.
like, so if you said, oh, well, how do I get ahead of keywords that maybe aren't coming up in Ahrefs or in site colon? You say, okay, well, the way I do this is I get into the niche and then I
Mhm.
write on topics that make this a good resource, even if it doesn't look like people are necessarily searching for it. My point was, it's like, well, if you're going to do this, if somebody wanted to be the best resource in the world on building fences, because that's what I can see out my
Mhm.
window right now, that it would be extremely hard to do that without either getting into this in their own in some way or spending money to have the input of that person who has that knowledge. I just don't know that you could 100% outsource it with keywords and get the same resource that you probably have for your countertop site.
To me, that's a work ethic question, really,
Hmm.
I mean, are you willing to put in the effort to make $10,000 a month, creating content websites, or do you just
Like
want
come out
to
swinging like, wow, that is actually a great point though. It's like,
I outwork a lot of people.
are you willing to do the work? And that is like the opposite of people like on the beach with their laptop.
Mhm.
Like I do this for 30 seconds a day and I post my
No, there's
content.
no way. It's not possible. I mean, it is possible, but it's highly unlikely. I put in a lot of work, and I know a lot of people that are in the chat that probably do too, like Chris. I'm sure he's pumping it out towards cash flow.
Anthony, I mean, a lot of these people have full-time jobs on top of their
Yeah.
businesses, they're doing online. So you know that if they were full-time, like Niche Informer, Jesse, I would actually, if Jesse's in the chat, I would love to know how much time a week that you are spending, Jesse, because Jesse quit his job in December to go full-time. And so it's like, are you working more, would you say, Jesse, or less? I see Jeff who says, hit the like button. That's right. If I haven't said that, go smash that, please. It will send the notification out to YouTube, just in general, and to people who aren't here that ought to be, because where are they? Um, so you
When I
talk
had
about
a job,
outsourcing.
I put 8 hours in at least every day
Mhm.
almost. You have 24 hours in a day, 8 hours working, and then 8 hours, um, on your websites.
But how do you balance then?
I mean, it's
Because,
not like a consistent 8 hours, you know what I mean? It's just as much time as you can. You really don't. You have to get to a certain income level, and then you slow down a little.
but you have other things like, and I don't want to just shout you out and say you are this, that, or whatever because of the things that you shared to me before. But I mean, balance, like I have a family. I have 3 children that I love very much. And for me, I'm like balancing, like sacrificing maybe my $10,000 a month, like sooner, because the balance is important to me. And so
Mhm.
you're crushing it right now with effort, but how do you balance?
Well, I mean, I didn't mean like you put 8 hours into your business, like you have 8 hours left,
Mhm.
to work. So, I mean, as much time as you can, but I'm sitting in the living room with my daughter. I raise her full time, and I have my iPad or my,
Mhm.
MacBook Pro, and she's just watching TV or whatever, and I'm writing content, or I take a break, go for a little run or a walk with her. So, I
Mhm.
mean, I'm not, like, constantly working, but I do put a lot of effort, you know what I mean? So, lack
Well,
of
I
sleep a lot of times.
I didn't want to like call you out for that, but the thing that bugs me is like the struggle porn, that you
Yeah.
see like Gary Vee. I mean, those guys, I respect the hell out of them, but this thing where they, you must work every single minute of the day or you can't be successful. And I just don't think that's true. I think you
I
can
don't think
work.
it's true either, but I think you need to really put your mind to it. Like, I eat, sleep this stuff, you know what I mean? It's literally on my mind 24/7, and I'm always listening to audiobooks and
Podcasts.
yeah, podcasts. I don't listen to too much podcasts, but mostly YouTube and audiobooks.
Mhm.
I love Audible.
I will agree with you on that. That is one thing that I think has made a difference for me, especially in the last year, is that I keep my mind, like my head in the space, mostly so I don't get excited about like something else, like over
Shiny
there,
object
like,
syndrome.
yeah. And so if I'm going to listen to an audiobook or listen to a podcast, it's going to be on the topic. One, so I can learn more, but 2, so I can keep my head in the same space, because I don't want
Absolutely.
to, I'm interested in like swing trading, right? I'm interested in those things, but I don't want to do it now because it
Currency
will
swing
just,
trading.
I am not. I'm actually not. Like I have signed up for Webull and I got my free stocks, but I haven't like gone down that rabbit hole because I just don't think that I could dabble in it. And I definitely can't dabble in this
Right.
and make it what I want it to be.
Swing trades are the perfect option though, because it's you place a gamble on a currency. For example, I do currency swing trading, and that's it.
Well, you blipped a little bit, so I missed that. I heard. So I do swing trading, and then there was a pause, and I think you said something important, and you're like, then that's it.
So I said swing trading is a good thing you can do, on top of whatever else, because it's something you set and forget. It's not like it's not like day trading. I currency
That's
trade.
See, that's perfect. Like set it and forget it. Like that is my alley. It's just not have to touch it every day, which is why I do content sites and not drop shipping or not these other models, because I want to be able to go do something else.
I agree.
Dave C says this is a great conversation. I say thank you. I agree.
Thank you.
Welcoming Will, thanks for dropping in. It's always good to see you. And then Anthony says, what audiobooks do you recommend then? What are you reading?
Let me just look at right now I'm not reading anything. I've been watching mostly YouTube. It's been a while, but let me open up Audible. There's a book, I don't remember the name of it. It's about seven habits of highly effective people, and there's another one. I don't remember the name of it, but it's about a company. I forgot the company. I haven't listened to it in a while, but they create a SaaS company, and they talk about how they created it. It's kind of like a business book, in my opinion. But
well, what was your takeaway from the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People?
It's been a while since I've read it. The last thing that's on my mind is the you put me on the spot. I can't even think about it. The guy that has Rich Dad Poor Dad. That's what it's called.
Robert Kiyosaki.
Yeah, Kiyosaki. I don't remember the 7 habits of.
Don't worry, I'm not like asking you to tell us like what has stuck with you, because I read books and sometimes I don't remember 99.9% of it, but I'll take like one just little nugget away from it, and then
Poor Dad, how he has 2 different people, 2 different dads telling him 2 different things, and ultimately you have to make your own decision and stuff like that. So that's what I got out of that. I like. You have to figure out your own path. And
see, I love that. I love that right here, because I feel like there's a lot of people who come to this space not having any background education in making money online. And then there's a lot of uncertainty, right? Everybody's skeptical because like, is this going to work? Am I going to lose money? And so then rather than taking action and making up their own mind, they spend a lot of time locked in the analysis paralysis and like going, and you see them in streams a lot. Like, and it makes sense to me. I understand why, but they are asking really basic questions that like the answers are not that important. Like which hosting is best? That is like not the most important thing in this game. Like when you're first starting out, the best hosting you can get is the one that you can get that will start you, right? And it doesn't really matter. In 2 years or 3 years, when you're making money, you will have a better idea of your needs, and then you can change. But in the beginning, that is not the biggest hurdle. But it's like forging your own path. That's really hard in the beginning.
Yeah. If you can't afford very expensive hosting, choose something that's cheap and work your way up.
Yeah. Just go. Just do it. So you were talking about creating content earlier and about how you had created content or ordered content from one of your sites and you were editing it. Where are you outsourcing your content?
Mostly Buy-Sell Text and Writer Access. And then I have a few in-house writers that I work with. One I've been working with for the last 2 years pretty consistently. But most of the people that I hired direct, they're all pretty new. So I'm kind of working out kinks as far as like what I expect out of them. And I actually purchased income school for them. So hopefully they can run through that course real good and give me what I need.
That's really interesting. So you're like, I don't want to take the time to teach you. These guys can teach you here. Yeah. Wow, you'd be a cool bot. Are you hiring? Because here I am like.
Actually, I am. I'm trying to find somebody part-time to manage Countertop Advisor and a few other things, but I'm not sure how that's going to work. So
you mean as like a VA or more like an operator?
Both. I don't know that I can hire somebody full-time for it. So I really don't know. There's some things that I have to do to um, free up some time for YouTube and
Mhm.
other things that I want to do. But I have a lot going on with Countertop Advisors. So
Well, if you can think of some of the things that you need people to do, I mean, there's people in the chat who will see this and then you can tell them where to go. So, what do you need or what are you thinking you need? And then if they can help you or want to try out for this, where do they go to?
you can just email me, John at jonsmithdm.com. I'll come up with a list of tasks that I need done on a regular basis, and we'll
Mhm.
figure it out from there. I just started thinking about this a couple days ago, so
Mhm.
I need more time.
Yeah, no,
That
I'd
big
hate to
thing.
put you on the spot, but it's like it's a golden opportunity to get in front of people who might be able to offer that. There are not many people who I think do a well, I don't want to say do a good job. It's just that's hiring an operator, I think is fraught with like worry and anxiety for me because you're turning over so much of your hard work to someone else. And then for them taking on the burden of the site, like what happens if something goes wrong in that time and whose fault is it?
Right, I
And
understand.
that's a huge burden. So like hiring an operator versus a VA who has very distinct and definable tasks, said do this and then done versus like your job is to grow the site. And they're like, holy cow.
I'm moving in a different direction with this site, and I'm going the home advisor route, except
Mm,
for I'm more niche down to countertops,
mm,
and I'm already ranking for a couple local cities, large local cities, and um, sending traffic to a couple clients that already have SEO clients. And
mm,
so I'm trying to go the lead route. I have developers that are developing a WordPress system for me. So we'll see how that goes. So I might end up hiring somebody in-house
mm,
locally so that I can see them every day. You know what I mean? So
mhm. So on the pages then that you're optimizing for leads, are you doing any other sort of monetization for them? Like, are you putting ads on those
yeah,
pages as well?
I have display ads on all
Mhm.
pages except for like the contact and about page, I think. But yeah, I might even have ads on those pages, but normally I wouldn't.
Do you see any difference in the RPMs when the pages are local, like focused on local sort type of traffic versus just like countertops in Alberta, fake
I
state?
haven't I haven't actually looked, to be honest with you. I don't know. I get a lot
I
of I get a high RPM for
Mhm.
I get a high amount per 1,000 visitors for this site.
Good.
Some of the content gets low, but uh, mostly pretty high, around the $30 range.
So what do you do to your content then, if you do anything at all to try and land it in the high RPM range? Is there something specific that you might add to your content? Like, hey, this particular keyword I know is a keyword that is maybe something that an advertiser will bid on.
Yeah,
Like you.
so I go into Ezoic or
Mhm.
wherever I'm at and look at what. Hang on, sorry.
I can still hear you.
My camera goes off after 30 minutes. But I go into Ezoic and look at the big data analytics and go to landing page, and you can see what's earning you the higher RPMs,
Mhm.
and you can write similar content to that. But I really don't focus on that, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm just going to write content and keep on writing content, and hopefully it ranks at least page one on Google and gets some traffic. But
Yeah, that's interesting. I do the exact same thing all the time. I talk about it a lot. And I was actually in my big data analytics this morning in Ezoic, and I had on my Mega site, my new site for this year, I have one post that all of a sudden has taken off and the RPMs on it is above 30 right now, which is
mhm.
I'm really excited about it. And it's the top earning article of all. And I decided to write an article that I thought was not the same, but targeted a similar keyword, just a different version of that keyword, and the RPM is not quite as high. And I'm like, all right, do I really know what it is about this article that produces the result of the high RPM? And like really thinking through, is it the specific keyword, in the title, or is it
The
something else,
topic
like
as a whole,
including a specific buyer intent keyword like cost or price or cheap or something, thinking about it as from the advertiser's point of
right?
view, like them setting up the ad and then what it is that they're targeting in their keyword, their Google keyword planner, right? Because they're using
Mhm.
that to figure out in AdWords what to advertise on. And
I just know certain keywords bring certain numbers, and you know, I think that's something really you shouldn't focus on. You focus too much on too many details, and you kind of lose track of where you need to go. So
But
just content.
if what it's doing is preventing you from creating content, 100% agree.
Yeah. I mean, you can look into things like that, but why? Just keep writing content. Eventually, you'll build up a nice resource and have a lot of money coming in.
You're just like, just as I had just confessed to like spending an hour this morning digging through my analytics, and he's like, I don't do that.
No, I
In
look at
fact,
it too. It's not a bad thing at all. I like to know. I'm a data guy. I like the numbers. I'm addicted to it, to be honest with you. I'm always
mhm,
looking on my phone at how much I've earned today or
mhm. I had to
traffic.
stop doing that. I had to like, I give
I
myself like
can't stop.
once, like I look once a day, and then after that, it's like,
Yeah, I look before I go to bed, when I wake up, 100 times throughout the day.
why?
I don't know. It's just a habit, I guess. I like making sure that the website's doing what it's supposed to do. If
Mhm,
like certain sites, if they don't hit a certain amount of page views or sessions by a certain time, like 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock or whatever, I'm freaking out a little bit, you know.
mhm.
So, and then eventually it happens, but yeah,
I
sometimes it's a little slow.
I felt like I was addicted to the dopamine rush, like the positive reinforcement. But what I found was that if it was a negative thing, like if maybe it just that particular day was not a good day, right? Maybe it's just because it was Sunday and Sunday happened to be Easter, and on Easter people just weren't doing the thing that my website was about. Well, it would crush me, and I
Yeah.
would feel terrible, and then I would feel less motivated, and the result would be that I might not create content that day because I'd be too busy like watching movies because I felt terrible.
Once you do
So,
this for a long time, you know that that stuff happens. Like Christmas Day was the lowest amount of traffic I've had in a long time. The
mhm.
day after Christmas too, but sometimes you just have lower traffic. I mean, this just depends on your niche, but yeah, absolutely.
Well, I think that is a great point, especially for folks who are in their first site in the first year, where you're just cruising along, cruising along, cruising along, and then the next day, like it's just not good, right? It's down 50%, and then you're like, oh, like I've been like hit, like I like something is wrong, and like sometimes you just it has nothing to do with you or that anything is bad. It's just you need to soldier on and keep creating content. You can't let one bad day just like derail you. And I've totally been there.
If I'm down 50%, I'm gonna freak out. But typical, 10%, 5%, 3%, lower
Yeah.
numbers, I know that's to be expected. Every day is a different day, but 50%, that's a lot.
Mom and Sabina says, I can't even look. Like one day I'll like looking. Yeah, well, when your success or your feeling of like I'm doing a good job is driven by the numbers and the numbers only, then it can be really difficult to keep your mindset in the right spot because your mindset is being controlled by something that is out of your control. I cannot control Google. I can control the content that I publish and the work that I do, but like I can't control YouTube subscribers. Like I can do all the work in the world, but I can't I can't fix the algorithm to bring me new subscribers. So if I set my goals around something I can't control, I'm going to feel like garbage.
Yeah, we all
Eh,
do.
Let's see. Pavan says also where the user was coming to the site also matters. So if they were in e-commerce and then a RPM, so you're looking at people who are retargeting your customers because you were just visiting bestnikeshoes.com and then you went from Nike shoes to gardening in Nike shoes. So if you were looking at, okay, if I'm going to create content around an e-commerce product where people might go there and not buy and then continue on doing research, that could be, if you could figure out a way to methodically do that, then you could get the retargeting dollars, assuming that there's still going to be that money when the third party cookie goes away.
Yeah, are you scared about that?
I'm not. I
Neither
feel
am
like those the internet and the electronic advertising is a thing, right? People
Absolutely.
aren't making money with the yellow pages anymore. And so third party cookies going away doesn't mean that these advertisers are going to turn around and go to the yellow pages and dump all their money into the yellow pages.
Yeah,
It's
I
going to
agree.
be somewhere else here in another way. And I'm just going to position myself to take advantage of that however it happens. Maybe I don't know, but I'm not going to be scared off and say, okay, I'm going to give up because there's a change coming.
It really only affects retargeting and affiliate sites, right?
I mean, as far
I don't really know a
as
lot about it.
and not necessarily just retargeting. I mean, in general, though, the ads that are set up based upon specific keywords, right? So that's not going to impact any of the advertising because your site will still have the keywords on it.
Right.
It'll be maybe audiences, maybe not necessarily retargeting, but just a specific audience, like people who are using Facebook pixel data, maybe not somebody who's ever been to the site before, but it used to be in Facebook that you could target somebody who had used their credit card in the last 30 days to
Really?
buy something online, like, or somebody who shops online frequently. Like you could target the pixel data based upon those and then take that audience and use it elsewhere. So some of those things you aren't going to be able to do that anymore. And they've slowly been phasing that out anyway. But I remember when you first got in and like setting up some of these ads, you could really get down in there with the Facebook stuff, especially. It's kind of scary.
Kind of scary, yeah. But it might be a good thing for us because advertisers might spend more money to try to test and see different values.
Or that some of that money, rather than using third-party data, maybe they will make more effort to get in front of people who are organically on the site, like doing sponsorships, right? Sponsored posts, or more like a pinned post on the front page to try to capture those people. I said, okay, I can't get the ad on there by setting it up in AdWords, but I still want the ad there. So like actually make a connection with really successful websites. And maybe that's what we have to look forward to, is more sponsorship opportunities.
I guess we'll find out soon.
Anthony says, I hardly look at my old sites anymore. Yeah. The only site that I check constantly is the site that I'm working on. The rest of them can go to wherever.
I have 4 out of 10 that I check every day, all day.
Yeah. Will wants to know, just specifically in April, how is the countertop site?
So let me look. As of right now, let me just refresh real quick.
As of this second.
I haven't looked at it from yesterday. I actually had to go get an Ethernet cord so I can be directly plugged in for this live stream. But it's going slow.
Yeah, being plugged in is, I think, the way to go when it comes to streaming.
So I'm averaging almost around $50 per day for this site. So for the month so far, I'm at $1,300, and that's without Home Advisor and Amazon. Amazon so far, I'm at like $250, something like that.
That's awesome. Liana says, appreciate hearing your process and approach. How many posts do you publish weekly?
So I don't really have a specific number. I have probably about 2 years worth of keyword research ready to go between 4 or 5 different sites. And I have a problem starting sites. Like I'm constantly buying domains and letting them sit. I put 10 articles on the website, and then it sits there for 6 months and doesn't get touched. And then I'll notice some traffic, like 10, 20 visitors a day, and I'll start putting content on it. But I don't really have a specific number. The more you can put on, the better. Like when I launch a site now, I've kind of promised myself that as soon as I launch a site, I'm going for at least 100 posts within the first 2 or 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I want to do it sooner, but there's a budget thing too. I'm not rich. I make decent money, but I have to live. Plus I have to run a business. So
how much money are you spending on content in a month?
Between 2,000 and 5,000, sometimes more, sometimes less. Most of the money that I earn, I put back into the business. So I have other things that I earn money from. So it's kind of good for me that most of the money that I earn from Countertop site or other sites that I have can go right back into it in content. So
are you planning on selling at any point in the future?
I might sell a couple of sites, but not the Countertop site. That's kind of close to home. I used to own a countertop company that I started from the ground up, and I bought out 2 years ago. That's
awesome. I see Chris. He says it's like waking up every day with $50 under your pillow.
It's amazing.
Like the Tooth Fairy just showed up and like, what?
It's the best feeling in the world to see that you've created something that people get value from. And if you look at my website, I have a lot of good content, and um, a lot of people comment now. I opened up the comments so I can be involved a little more with my
Mhm.
audience, and I'm meeting all kind of great people and companies and stuff like that. It's amazing. It's a good feeling and makes things a little less boring. Like I'm not just writing black text on a white background for no one, Feels
Do you
good.
think do you think at all about moving into a some sort of membership model or info product model there on the countertop site?
So probably not, because like I said, I want to give value,
Mhm,
and that's why I'm going the business route. So I'm creating a lead engine pretty
mhm.
much, and I'm going to start dabbling in paid traffic, which I already have affiliate campaigns that I've ran for the last 3 years. Um, but I'm gonna dabble more into paid traffic and um, somehow get countertop companies to buy leads from me, $100, $200 per lead. And yeah, so hopefully that route, I'm turning it more into a business. I've already incorporated it and everything. So,
Mhm.
and then I have a developer um, currently writing script for the back end of WordPress to create a sort of like a lead engine, my own system. That way I can send leads, and customers can look at the leads that they have and billing and all that good stuff. So
Which model or which platform for paid traffic are you
Google for sure.
AdWords?
Yeah, I'm gonna outsource that. I'm gonna hire somebody, probably 3 to 6 months from now to kind of handle all that for me, because I'm not an expert in paid traffic. I mean, I can set up affiliate campaigns and a landing page and make money from it, break even at least, or lose a little money. But
Mhm.
there's always a way to get it profitable. But that's not my interest. It's kind of boring to me. So it's better to outsource that to someone that is going to make it work for you. So
Yeah, I think paid traffic, like if you have that skill, like the world is really open. Like it
as far as paid
really.
traffic, though, I'm testing out. I've noticed a few sites that are creating affiliate sites, and they're buying traffic from like Google or whatever.
Mhm,
And if they seem to be doing pretty well, because I've been watching a certain campaign,
mhm,
and they have a ton of them. But they create these affiliate heavy web pages like best ballpoint pen or whatever,
mhm.
list a bunch of pens, and if it wasn't working, they wouldn't be doing it. So I'm about to start testing that out too, and that's something that I'll probably use Bing or something kind of lower quality to see, but and then maybe scale later. But yeah, it's kind of like arbitrage.
That's exactly, I was just gonna say that, as far as like the affiliate stuff versus ad arbitrage, if you can get more money from the ads that you do for the traffic that you sent to them, like
Hmm.
people are actually doing that. I've just really struggled with the idea of spending a lot of money. Like it's because it's also my time, right? Like I'm
Hmm.
spending time and money potentially to get traffic that I could get organically, because there's a certain number of people who just are never going to click on an ad. I don't care like how well targeted it is. The fact that it is an ad, I just aim at the people who always scroll by and just will
But if you
never.
can use a tracking script to figure out what keywords are, costing you the most money without conversions, or it's not profitable for you, you
Mhm.
can just cancel those out and focus on the ones that are making you money.
And then write organic content for those other ones.
True. Yeah, that's a good way to figure out which what's getting searched, a search volume of a specific keyword.
Well, and then the search, like the behavior of the visitor, right? So like
Absolutely.
these people on this specific topic are willing to click on ads, and then these specific keywords, these people don't click on ads. Like there's no ad copy or a headline or permutation of this that we can make profitable.
Right.
So could the conclusion be that those people just don't click on ads, and then you try to target them in other ways with your organic traffic?
Absolutely.
So what do you see as like your interests going forward? We talk about, you say you have 10 sites and you have a problem with starting more sites. Do you see yourself starting more sites in 2021 and 2022?
Yeah, I just started one 2 days ago, but
He's
I have
like,
more than
yes.
I have more than 10 sites. I probably have upwards of 30, to be honest with you, but a lot of
Whew.
them just have, 5 or 10 posts
Mm.
and they're forgotten about, you know what I mean? So
Why not sell those? Like, why not sell them as starter sites and just take the cash and dump them into something else?
I don't start a site unless I really vet the niche, and these niches I feel like they're gonna do well. So it's kind of
Mhm.
like a hoarder. They don't want to get rid of their stuff, their new toys, but they'll never see it again. It's gonna get buried in a mountain of, you know,
That's how I
debris.
am with
Debris.
glass jars. The glass jar, like I take the label off it and then I'm gonna need this. Let me put it in the cupboard with all of my other glass jars that I
Yeah.
have like 6,000 of them. But you know what happens to those? Eventually I get rid of them because
I do want to sell. I do want to sell a site, and I'm thinking about it because I need more money for what I'm doing with the countertop site. So
mm,
I'm probably gonna sell, and it probably 36 would be about 70,000, but I don't know. We'll see. I think I need to.
Sabina says, what would your advice be for when is a good time to start another site? And what I've heard you say is you start them all the time, is probably when you
Do as I
shouldn't.
say, not as I do.
All right. So then say, like, when would be the right time?
So it depends. If you've written, 100 posts on a website and it's 2 years old and it's not making, enough money, then maybe then. I like to create as much content as I can, let it sit, let Google do its thing, interlink a bunch of the content, and move on and let it grow. Age is a big deal, I think, and there's no real right or wrong answer to that, to be honest with you. But whenever you feel like you're bored with the topic, but that can be too soon too, So it's everybody's different, and at least get a couple sites or one site going really well before you move on to another site. In my opinion,
Yeah,
I think
I
focusing on one, you can get spread too thin like me and drive yourself crazy.
yeah, I'm guilty of that too. Spread way too thin, which is why I have not spent as much time on YouTube or on my podcast this year because I'm really just trying to focus on one site in particular.
I
Because
just bought a bunch of gear for YouTube, and I'm about to go heavy for it, so that's gonna take a lot more of my time.
yeah, well, you're gonna hire somebody to help make those so those other things continue to go. Like that's how you would do that. Whereas
But who am I
I,
gonna hire? That's the thing. No one's gonna do it as good as me. No one cares as much as I care about my own website.
yeah, but you're gonna have to get to a point where either you don't grow this other thing or you just have to say, all right, it's good enough.
Yeah, good enough, and where it's just trebling along. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, I don't
Hmm.
need growth. I just let it coast. I don't know. I don't think I'll ever get there.
So what are you going to be doing then on YouTube? You're like, I bought gears and I've seen you do a live stream. You did a 2-hour live stream the other day, and you're like big into this network thing. Like, what is your goal? What
My
do you want to
goal is
grow
to
YouTube into?
my goal is to get better. I'm a shy person naturally, if you can't tell. I'm quiet, reserved, and I don't know. I want to get better at it and just offer value to
Mhm.
people and kind of coach them along. I don't have all the answers for sure, but I know what works for me. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And the gear, it's just to provide better quality. I'm OCD about quality. I know my,
Mm.
early on videos kind of the quality on the editing was bad, but every day it gets better. So I'm learning and learning. So YouTube's never really been something that I've been passionate about, but it's become fun.
I
So
would I mean, I appreciate all of that, right? You like said all
mhm.
of the right things, and the one thing I didn't hear you say was, and I would like it to be another income stream.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm about to hit 1,000 subscribers. I think it'll be in the next, 30 days, give or take.
If you keep
So
growing the way you did, then yes, you will.
YouTube is liking Jon Smith DM, I guess.
So
But
what's the D stand for?
digital marketing,
Mm, okay.
I was having a hard time thinking of something. And I just come up with something real quick on the fly. I didn't know what to go. It
That's
might
hard when your
change in
name
the
is Jon
future.
Smith and there's like
That's what I was saying. That's what I've told everybody. Jon Smith. I'm on every credit card, but it's not unique. It's kind of
yeah, how are you going to differentiate yourself then, like become this YouTube star? And you might, I mean, you might have to have a business brand kind of name like the create and go guys, or like having like Jon Smith, like your
That's why I put the
business.
DM, because people can't find Jon Smith. There's too many, but I really don't have any kind of expectations out of YouTube. I do it because it's fun, and yeah, I want to make money with it. I'm about to be monetized, but it's not the goal. I mean, it's not the end goal, if you will.
I
It's
know.
more of a
I've listened to
benefit
you
to the
talk
hobby.
though. I've listened to you talk this entire time. You talked about how you're like obsessive, that you work really hard, that you really into data, and it's really hard for me to hear you say, "Oh, well, I'm not really sure." Like, to me, in the back of my mind, I think you must have like goals. You're like, "All right, this would make me happy about this." Like, you said all the right things, right, to build an audience,
Yeah, I
but
do
it's
want to make money from YouTube, but it's not the end goal.
all right. Yeah, me
It's just
either.
extra
Me either.
income.
But it's not like I have another job, right? Where I'm out there in the world. Like,
Mhm.
this is
We're
pretty much.
fortunate. Isn't it amazing just working for yourself? Don't have to worry about anything else.
Well, I mean, I worry about everything else.
I mean, like
But
going to work, being late for work, time if I have to go to a ball game for my niece or my nephew, you know what I mean? It's
well,
nice.
the freedom, that's so much. I made more money before, like way more money before, but it's being able to do this on a what day is the week? I don't even know what day of the week it is half the time.
Wednesday.
On a Wednesday, whereas nobody tells me what to do or how, and that's pretty darn amazing.
I went full time in January, mid January.
Of this year?
Hmm.
Wow, so this is really new then. Like, this is like,
Well,
I mean,
yeah,
the whole business isn't new, but like going full time is really committing to it.
yeah. I felt like it was holding me back having to work. I didn't really have to work, but I wanted to get out. I couldn't just sit around and do nothing. So, and then as soon as I got to a certain level, I let myself quit my job and put more effort, more time, more energy into the whole process. So
Awesome. Well, I'm seeing it's at the top of the hour, and so I want to give you a chance to just say, hey, whatever wrap up you want to, and tell people where they should go if they want to find out more about you. And thank you so much for being here. It's been really fun.
I appreciate it. Sorry, I'm so boring,
You're
but
not boring. You're not boring at all. I had a great conversation here. So
yeah, it's been fun getting to know you and meeting you as well. I've watched your videos for quite a while, but if you can help me get to that 1,000 subscriber mark, that would be great. Jon Smith DM on YouTube, and johnsmithdm.com on my website.
I'm
Hopefully I
pretty
can.
sure. I'm pretty sure I put the link to your YouTube channel in the description. I did. So
Awesome.
So if folks want to head over there, I'm certain that you'll be posting niche specific videos, and people will get. I mean, I get value out of your channel, so I'm
I appreciate that. Thank you. It means a lot.
awesome. Well,
I
thank
have
you
to
so much
upload
for
now.
being here, folks. Next week, I don't have a guest planned at the moment, but John jumped on it last minute, and so you just never know who I might find between now and next Wednesday to come and chat with us. But as always, same time, same place, and yeah, look forward to catching up with everybody. Thank you, Margaret and Jeff and Chris and Zach and Leona and Anthony and Pavan and everybody else that has come and gone in the last hour. It's been really fun. And Margaret says, that was interesting, not boring at all.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Take care, everyone. We'll see you next week.